So I'm going to hand it off to Alia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alia. My pronouns are she, her. I am a junior majoring in human development and family studies. I studied abroad during my freshman year for a short-term winter break trip to Morocco during 2019 into 2020. I was actually the youngest person on my trip. The trip that I went on was restricted to juniors and seniors, but since there weren't enough people in the program, they opened the application to younger applicants. I applied and I got in, and I'm very glad that I did. The topic of my study abroad was horticulture. And even though I don't know much about gardening or plants, I'm still very glad that I went because I was able to learn a lot. And this goes to prove that you do not have to be an expert in whatever area you want to study abroad in. You're open to study abroad in any area that you wish to have experience in. The great thing about the study abroad programs is these are places that you normally see in pictures and experiences that you may only see on the internet, and it's great to actually live these. So for example, when I was in Morocco, we went to a lot of the markets, and you see these in movies, like walking around the crowded markets, and you see snake charmers and just everything that comes with that. I was also able to ride camels in the Sahara Desert, which isn't something that I don't believe everyone can say. Also, the pre-departure courses at Illinois will definitely prepare you for your study abroad trip. Just make sure you pay attention in those because they'll teach you what to wear and how to be respectful in the country that you're going to, what language you can expect the people to be speaking. And if they speak multiple language, it'll tell you why.
So I'm going to hand it off to Andrea, who actually went to South Africa not that long ago and can talk about her experience there.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Andrea. I am a senior. My pronouns are she, her, and my study abroad country was South Africa, and I did that over the winter of 2020. Yeah, I think it was the winter of 2020, if I'm sure. But there I got to work at Red Wars Memorial Children's Hospital, and I got to work with children from like as young as 2 months to as old as like 12 years, I believe. And there I kind of did the role of like a child life specialist where I went in and sort of helped the children go through medical procedures or just be able to sort of feel more comfortable in a hospital setting through play therapy and through just doing several activities with them to sort of get their mind off of, having to be in a hospital because that can be a very scary thing for a child. And I also did like a lot of like tourism and a lot of fun stuff, kind of like Alia had said. I know we went on a safari and we saw like a bunch of animals, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And sort of also going off of what Alia said, I feel like the pre-departure course was very helpful. In the beginning, I feel like I couldn't understand why, or like I didn't want to take the course because I was like, I just, I want to go on this trip, I want to learn there. But I feel like once I was finally there, I realized that I needed to know this information before going because I needed to know not only what I was getting into, but also not feel so lost when I'm there. So like being able to take this course and sort of learn the history, the culture, the food, reading all the books that we read, it was really helpful in the fact that like once we were there, I already knew some of the things that people would mention, or Jan would point out something to us like we had already talked about it in class. So it was really helpful being able to make those connections. And yeah, I just really enjoyed my trip. I thought that trip definitely changed my views on Africa, and it really showed me that it's a place that everyone should go to, and everyone has these negative perceptions of it, but it's best that they go and they learn and they educate themselves, and they'll see the beauty of South Africa.
Thanks, Andrea. And then last but not least, I'm going to pass it off to Grace, who was in Italy up until the pandemic.
Yes. So hello, everyone. I'm Grace. I am a senior studying human development and family studies with a business minor, and she, her, by the way. And I was studying in Florence, Italy last spring, so when the pandemic hit. So it was it was only 6 weeks. It was supposed to be the entirety of the semester. So it was supposed to be 4 months long. And I was staying a little bit longer extra in May, but unfortunately it didn't get to happen. But when I was there, you know, I had so many great experiences. I lived right outside, like I walked out my door and I was in the leather market. Like Italy is famous for like their, you know, their real leather. And it was just so cool to just like really be in the authentic place in Florence. I was able to take courses there. I took an Italian cooking class. It was required for us to take an Italian language class. Luckily, I am Italian, so I am a little bit familiar with the culture and the language. So that was very, very helpful for me and made it easier to, you know, get acclimated to everything. And yeah, I think that one thing I would say was my roommates and I did a great job of, you know, not always going out to a bar every night, but maybe going to visit, you know, the Piazza Michelangelo, where you can go and bring a bottle of champagne and just sit out and look at things and walk around the city and learn it without, you know, using your Google Maps and just really taking everything in and being present was the most biggest piece of advice that I would really say. And then again, there will be things that happen to you that you will never expect. So when I was flying there, I should have known that this was a test of the pandemic, but my flight got delayed in the layover in Amsterdam for 5 hours. And then I get there and my luggage is lost. And I didn't have luggage for 3 days, my first 3 days of abroad. And that just goes to show, like, you can literally get through anything, and you think you can't. You're like, where's my parents? Where's my phone doesn't work in a country, you know, but I got through it. I'm here. And then, you know, the pandemic, obviously that was unexpected, but, you know, it just goes to show, you know, everyone should study abroad. Everyone should have those experiences. You grow so much personally. And then, you know, it's a story to tell at the end of the day too. So yeah, that was it.
Thanks, Grace. Thank you so much for sharing, undergraduate students. And so I had mentioned earlier, I have quite a few questions. Some have kind of been answered and some might spark other questions, but just thinking about this from like a very introductory level, if I'm learning all of this for the first time, you know, this is a two-part question. What is the difference between a service learning trip and a semester abroad trip? And why might one choose one versus the other?
A service learning trip, so there are faculty-led programs, which is usually a 2 to 3 week trip in which a faculty member, your course instructor, will lead a group of students on the trip for whatever that program is. Sometimes it is tourism that's related to historical or food security or agricultural or educational aspects of the country that you go to. A service trip might be run like a faculty-led trip, but the purpose of your trip includes doing service work or volunteer work that pertains to the topic of your course and trip. And that's what my short-term, the 3-week Zimbabwe and South Africa trips are, okay? A full semester program, you're either in exchanging places with a student from that university who's coming here and you're going there, so that would be an exchange program. Or there's one that's called a direct enroll program, in which students from that side might not be coming here, but you're going to a university abroad in whatever destination you choose. The Study Abroad website has many, many, many destinations around the world, and you enroll and become a student there for a full semester. So you are immersed with the students at that university in perhaps your housing, your education, and even some of the fun things that you do, tourism and community immersion, you know, on the side. So for the full semester program, you're going to be gone a full semester and maybe a little bit more, because a lot of students travel for a little bit after their program, okay? And you will be earning your full semester. You'll still be a student at the University of Illinois. And your scholarships usually work, but I would read them carefully before you go. Your financial aid definitely works for you when you are a student abroad for a full semester. And then your courses, typically the credit comes back on a transcript from that university to campus. And the Study Abroad office will help you sort out what kinds of courses, when you go there, can you get credit for that will transfer? How will those transfer back here? And so a lot of times that will be electives and humanities courses, but you never know. There could be ways to get something to count for one of your your department's courses that will meet your graduation requirements when you're there. Okay, and so the semester programs typically don't include an internship, but now there are being some more programs created like the one that I developed back in about 2014 that include an internship while you're gone for the full semester. Okay, any other questions about that?
Just to follow up, why might, and this students feel free to chime in, but why might someone choose one versus the other? What are some of the reasons why one might be a better option?
Yeah, if you can study abroad for a full semester, that's what I recommend, because you're going to get the deepest immersion and you're actually going to feel like you become part of that society, part of that community, and your values actually begin to adapt to those of the culture that you're immersed in. And it's really the best growth experience. But many students can't find the time to go for a full semester, or they're just not comfortable being gone that long on their own. And in that case, there are many short-term trips that are 2 to 3 weeks, faculty-led, so that you have the comfort of having that faculty leader and a cohort of Illinois students, even though you also get immersed in communities where you go and hopefully meet your peers, you know, in those cases. But you might choose a faculty-led program because your semester requirements, your graduation requirements, or some other internship that you need or want to do is filling all of your time, and you can't find the time to take a whole semester and be abroad. Sometimes it's just a personal decision, and it's more comfortable to be gone at winter break or on a summer program. There are lots of faculty programs that go on the summer as well. So really, it's a personal choice, and you can do more than one.
Thanks, Jan. So Jan answered why students might choose one trip length versus the other. Now, my question for students is, why did you choose your site? Was it based on location or the classes you could take? Which one did you think of first?
I think for me, it was definitely based on location. Like I knew I wanted to be somewhere within Italy, and then also a smaller city within Italy. So not as much Rome or Milan, maybe the more popular ones. But Florence was still very popular, but I just wanted to be somewhere where it was, you know, more intimate and, you know, able to learn the city more than I could. So
my decision for where I went was actually neither. It was my freshman year, and I had to drop a very difficult class, and I was going to be under the amount of credit hours that I needed. And when I was in, I believe the class is called ACES 101. It's an introductory course that every ACES college student has to take. They had a session about study abroad, and they showed us which study abroad programs still had openings. And I picked Morocco because it sounded nice and I needed the credit hours.
I chose my study abroad trip because sort of like Jan said, the 3 weeks kind of fit me best because I didn't really want to be too long from home, but also just the location. I didn't want the like very typical, I guess, like a European experience. I wanted like a completely out of my comfort zone area. Like I feel like that I like that. I love the challenge of like kind of being out of my comfort zone. And I don't know, I feel like not many people say they go to South Africa. And I felt even when I told people, it was a big shock to them that I had even chose to go there. So I kind of like that. So that's why I chose there.